welcome into the Thunderdome for an exciting edition of girls basketball. We have Rivalry Night as the Millville Thunderbolts will play host to the Fighting Clan of Vineland. Ariel Melendez here. Before I introduce our guest, you know who she is, but I promise, as far as I know, no surprises today. I don't think anybody's hiding behind us. Unless they have something I don't know about, I don't think anyone's going to jump out at you. You told us your birthday wasn't until the spring, so unless we get in there in softball, I don't think we've got anything as far as I know. But again, Ariel Melendez here with Coach Stephanie Labas. We've been able to talk to you a few times this season, kind of with how your season has gone. We'll start with Rivalry Night. It's always an exciting game. Doesn't matter how the season's going for either team. How much excitement do you think is going to be in this game, especially the last game?
So I think it's going to be huge. We played them earlier in the season, and it's always loud against Vineland. No matter what the sport is and where the game is, you always have the crowds come out for this game. The girls, I think, get more into it because of that rivalry. You know, they know people from the other team. It's a little bit different because you know the other players on a personal level as an athlete. And then, of course, today's our last game of the season, so it kind of has that extra little, like, fire under us to kind of, you know, play our game and hopefully come out with the win at the end.
It's almost like you knew that was going to be my next question, because I was going to ask you, with it being the last game of the season, how much, obviously it's, you know, probably an emotional night for a couple of your players since you have a couple seniors, that this will be their final game. But how much does it help, though, that it is against Vineland, so maybe they don't have time to necessarily think about the fact that this is it, because they're going to be more amped up with the fact that it's a rival?
Yeah, I know. You know, the emotions are already running high. The seniors, I've talked to a couple of them before the game already. When they were going in the locker room, they already were full of emotion. So it's gonna be a good game for them. I think hopefully they can come out with the win. I mean, either way, to go out against Vineland, that's a good way to end your career as a Millville Thunderbolt for the girls basketball program.
And how do you kind of maybe temper that emotion a little bit? I know it's probably hard to say completely, well, don't think about it, because they're going to be thinking about it throughout the entire game, I'm sure. But how do you make sure that they use that emotion, use that fire in a positive way?
Just try to encourage them to use it as intensity in the game and kind of use that as motivation for them. To, you know, you always kind of hold that, like, this is your rival, like, don't lose to the rival kind of thing. So hopefully that can be their motivation to kind of work harder, and those balls that, like, you know, kind of the jump balls that we might just barely get, or the balls that are rolling on the ground, maybe they're a little bit more aggressive diving after them because of who we're playing against.
And you guys have had to play the last couple games without Brianni Edwards. She's a big player for you guys. It's left you a little bit shorthanded. How do you think the team has stepped up? Anybody in particular, just how they've been able to come together without her?
Yeah, Bree's been sick for about a week now, so she actually hasn't even been in school. So it has kind of, you know, made a different impact on our team, so we have to kind of fill that void. I mean, her and Brooke are usually our two leading scorers, so to have one of our people who's scoring 15 to 20 points a game not there, it kind of makes it hard to win games, but we have to have other girls step up, and they've been doing that. And, you know, we have Jalen Jones, who's our point guard. She's stepping up. She's scoring more points. And then, like, Aubrey and Ayla, they're not typically leading scorers for us, but they do what they need to do as far as rebounds and defensive stuff. Even the other day we were playing and Ayla hit a couple threes, and, like, that's what we need her to do in the absence of Brianni. We need them to start scoring, kind of fill that void of where we're missing those points.
And I'm glad you mentioned those threes from Ayla, because I had asked Brooke after the game, I think this is the first time I've ever seen Ayla smile. She's just business as usual, stoic on the court, and she made those threes, and it's just back on defense. Nothing like nothing mattered. What have you seen from her, especially getting the chance to maybe get a little bit more minutes? She's getting a chance to start a little bit in Brianni's absence. Is that just how she's always been from what you've seen? It's just business as usual no matter what?
Yeah, from as far as I've, like, known her, like, it's just, you know, she goes out there and does what she needs to do. She doesn't have over-the-top emotions either way, negative nor positive. She just kind of, like, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to help my team. But she has kind of loosened up lately, and I think, like, she's getting a little bit, like, you know, she's kind of goofy. She's joking around with the girls a little bit more. Today, she's one of the ones showing emotion because it is her last game as a Millville basketball player. So she does have those emotions, which is nice to see, because then it lets you know, like, she's enjoying it, she cares, and she's gonna, I think, miss it because those emotions are coming out. You know, it's be different to be doing something for 4 years and now it's done.
Yeah, I did kind of notice that in the pregame. It seemed like she was a little bit looser.
Yeah.
Her and Brooke were messing around a lot, I know, because obviously with them being their last game for Vineland. Just this game specifically, not necessarily going back to the game you guys had, game plan for tonight.
So just come out with intensity. I told the girls it's going to be loud. It's always loud. We have to stay focused in our game. We have to know, like, obviously we played them already, so we kind of have an idea of, like, what offenses and defenses they could potentially run. We know what works for us and what doesn't work, and every game we're kind of taking and trying to use, like, past games, even if it's not against the same competitor, just kind of build on the things where maybe it didn't go as right as we needed it to the last game, and just make those adjustments in the game. So we're just kind of, playing our game, and we got to make sure we don't get it out of hand where sometimes the game gets too fast and we want to try and play up to the speed, but we got to drop it down sometimes and play our speed and play our game.
And I know we talked about this on senior night, but with it being their last actual game with the Thunderbolts, I know you've only really known them on a deeper level for one season, but just a quick thought of what they really, really mean to the program now that you are at the end of the season.
Yeah, so it is my first year coaching, so I've had the pleasure of coaching Brooke in other sports and softball and all, but with the three of them, like, it has been a pleasure to coach them. They're three genuinely great kids that I wish I could have more time with them. So I'm just hoping they go out and they have a positive attitude, and I hope they have fun, and hopefully they look back and they think about, like, it was a good year. It was a good senior year. Maybe our record wasn't where they really wanted it to be, but hopefully they enjoyed it, and it was, something that they can remember in a good way.
Yeah, because with it being high school sports, obviously it's competitive. It's going to be competitive with the game against Vineland, but at the end of the day, it is just a game, and you hope that they're able to go out on a high note, especially with a win against Vineland would be a great way to end the season. So thank you, Coach Labas. We've enjoyed being able to talk to you a little bit more this season and this opportunity of you getting to head coach the team, and we congratulated you once, but we'll congratulate you again on the softball position. Maybe we'll catch a few games down there with you this season, but again, that's Coach Stephanie Labas. Ariel Melendez here. We've got plenty more action here on Rivalry Night. We should have a good game between the Millville Thunderbolts and Vineland Fighting Clan. So stay with us. We'll be right back.